recording. Alright, so we're gonna have to speak softly for this one because shit got really fucking real on this boat, and now we're in big time timeout. So I guess we'll do. So that's the Fight Club thing. We're just gonna rewind fucking 24 something hours and just start over.
Okay. So it started yesterday morning. The captain got up, looked at the generator that was mounted on the board.
Was it even mounted at the board?
Yeah.
Oh shit, and you gotta rewind to that evening. It all started when we fucking lost power and had to hand steer.
Oh, we didn't talk about hand steering at all.
No.
Oh yeah, you're right. We gotta go back even further. Okay.
So like
cool.
go back 36 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. So we lost power. Couldn't get the generator working. We moved it into.
Hold on. We lost power, and then the captain decided, shit, let me look at the alternator on the motor and see if I can. Let me finally. It was like this has to be day 16 or 17. He's got to be like, let me look at the alternator on the motor, something that's been talked about for a while.
And he's been putting it off the entire time. He didn't even look.
Yeah. So finally, he opens up the engine bay. This is at like fucking
12 days.
No, but this is at like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. Like sunset's in another 2 or 3 hours. We have legitimately, upon retrospect, 1 hour of good sunlight for our panels.
Yep.
So like, and we're running low on energy. And this is all day. We haven't been running the generator or anything.
Right.
We're just coasting on powered generator from the day earlier.
So he opens the panel. He opens the fucking engine panel up, and a wire's unplugged. He takes it and he's like, oh, this looks like this could be for the go to the battery. It could be for the alternator. And he plugs it back in.
And then goes to everyone, yo, looks like if we just start the engine, we might be able to fix all of this.
Well, guess what?
Can't start the engine because we don't have enough fucking electricity.
Because we had already used up all the power.
Had he checked 5 hours earlier?
12 days earlier, when the alternator first failed.
Realistically, had he checked 5 hours earlier, so like at noon, when he had woken his ass up, then we would have been able to start the engine most likely. We
would not have had any power issues, basically. Yeah. Any, if we had done this 12, 14 days ago when we first knew about this. But no one knew what to look for, so no one opened up the fucking engine panel. Only he would know what to look for, and he didn't do it because he was quote unquote he just didn't want it. He was being a lazy bastard. So
no, later the truth would come out as to why he didn't look at it, and I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But so it's like fucking okay, 0 hours. He's like, all right, dude, we gotta get this generator running. We gotta get this generator running to get this motor going. He kept telling us we gotta get the generator going so we could get the motor going.
No, did he really?
Yeah, I remember that was the incentive. It's like, yeah, we get the generator running, then we'll have enough energy to start the motor, and then with the alternator we can charge this entire battery.
Right, that's true.
And so we're like, oh, fuck yeah, awesome, great, then all of our electricity woes will be solved.
So everyone goes to work on the generator. We go to town, we build a mount for it.
It's like, it's just all
I got a video of it running on the
human
mount.
resources, yeah, we have a video of it. All human resources have been put to this generator.
Right.
And it doesn't matter because it's too little too fucking late. We're still working on it by sundown, and at this point we've actually run out of energy.
We've used all of our energy, and the autopilot is shutting down, so we have to hand steer the boat. It is fun, by the way.
At this point, everyone gets crash course lessons on how to hand steer.
We're taking our shifts through the night, each switching off on steering the boat manually, which, again, isn't even that hard.
It's not hard, but it's
concentration. It's a little bit wearying.
It's kind of shitty when you don't know how to do it, especially with this boat.
And it's mostly shitty because
he's a bad teacher.
Oh, and it takes you off course and adds like a full day.
Yeah, I mean like
to the trip.
To stay steady, staying steady on 1 degree is fucking impossible. Benjamin is the fucking man. He gets plus or minus 5 degrees.
I can do it within 5 degrees,
which is commendable. Mine is plus or minus 15 if I'm being good.
I can stay within 5 degrees for long periods of time. But
if a
really
satellite tracked my boat, it would look like a drunken man swaggering down the street, just like
Saint Laurent,
yeah, like
trying to get to his poutine. Actually, a drunken guy trying to get to his poutine, like a fucking rat in a maze.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. It's just there's too much. Like say I needed to go west, I'd be like, that's 270. I'd be like, one moment I'm 255, next moment I'm 285, another moment I'm 255.
It's overcorrecting all over the place.
It's retarded. It's not easy to do. So I have mad respect for Ben being fucking Commander Shepard over here. Helmsman Shepherd. Anyway.
No, dude, it's just I dial in. I get so concentrated, I can't even talk to people. People try talking to me, and I don't know, I can't hear what they're saying because I'm focused on maintaining my 1 degree like lead on this shit.
It's actually kind of impressive, but I'm
the most focused thing I've done on this boat.
I'm more lax about it, and so I don't get the same kind of precision.
You should have seen me calling the shots as a co-pilot though. Pedro was steering, and I was standing there looking off the back of the boat. I'd be like, Pedro, 5 degrees port, 5 degrees, and he'd be like, you're right. How'd you know? He was like astonished by he was borderline superstitious by my ability to read the waves and tell when the boat was a couple degrees off course.
And that's sort of like, and the cool thing is if you're really skilled as a helmsman, you can somewhat keep your course and read the waves, so you surf over the waves.
That's true, but not on a boat this big.
And I'm a piece of shit, so I didn't even attempt to do that shit. I drove by compass alone. I didn't look at the sails and like, fuck this shit.
You don't need to look at the sails.
I felt the wind and drove by compass.
Yeah, you can hear the sails as soon as the wind shifts. You hear the sails and
they
that's
get
when
real
you
angry.
change the compass.
Popping and snapping at you.
Flogging.
Good.
Flogging and luffing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that shit happens. We're all hand steering and shit.
So we're hand steering because we can't.
With the hope that sunlight will come and charge
warm
the panels
enough that we can start the engine.
No, that we can get autopilot back on, and then eventually fucking the generator, and then start the engine.
Right.
Actually, it was all to start the engine.
Yeah.
And then we get autopilot.
Right. Everything comes after the. Basically, here's what happened. We had 2 options. One, if the engine didn't start, the idea was like, okay, at least the solar panels on a clear day. We're praying it was a clear day. Solar panels would charge the autopilot enough that if we hand steer during the day, the autopilot would take our shifts at night. That's the option. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario, what we were all hoping for, was that the solar panels would charge the battery enough that we could start the engine, which would charge the battery all the way. Okay, the engine would finish charging the battery because the solar panels are not powerful enough, and then the battery would, basically allow us to do all the electronic shit that we couldn't do the whole trip because we didn't have enough battery to spare. We didn't have any battery to spare.
And so while Ben's learning to drive, I'm sitting there like, I refuse to give up on the generator because I don't want anyone to have to hand steer. It'll just put too much time on our ETA.
At this point, it should be said that this is when we decided to improvise a makeshift pull string, because the pull cord broke on the generator. The rev cord, like, the one you use to start a motor, broke off because we basically revved it too hard too many times in the last couple of days. It just snapped in half.
Working that generator raw.
Yeah, seriously, the poor little bastard was just like being fucking just run out. So we improvised the cord using a
every time shit would go down, it would go into the shop, i.e. me.
Shackle. Yeah, it would be. It was a shackle on a piece of like hemp rope, stronger rope. The shackle was going to be the strong grip that you can use to pull it. And unfortunately, we couldn't get it started, and we just hand steered.
Because they were fucking doing this really like Mickey Mouse bullshit, like wrap the cord around the shaft, like the crankshaft.
Yeah, the crankshaft.
And then like pray that the cord catches enough friction and the shaft itself to turn the motor over. Right. Bullshit. I just looked at that and I'm like, wait, why don't we just put the old assembly? We'll just put the old assembly back on.
Which Steven did, but he spent 2 hours and it still didn't work after that night.
Yeah, because we had taken so much. Because, in my humble opinion, we'd fucked with the generator so hard.
It was done.
We
all thought it was done.
It was done. And then the fucking captain champs up, walks over there.
Wait. That was the next day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next day.
So let it be said, the next morning, the captain wakes up 8 a.m.
Hold on. No, that's not. He wakes up, walks over, we have a conversation about it. He's like, alright, you gotta get on, he's like, you gotta get on that generator. And I told him, like, dude, I've done everything I fucking can. I've tried pulling it several times. You saw me work on it. I worked on it well into the night. I didn't even sleep before my shift.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and he looks at me and goes, I don't give up that easily. And I go, with all due respect, I don't think that's giving up easily, dude. I've worked over 17 hours on this generator. He walks over there, champs the fuck up, rips on my new assembly, starts the thing just comes to life.
The thing just starts. That's the best part. It didn't make any sense, but it worked.
No, I think he spurted some WD-40 in the cylinder as starting fluid. I don't know what he did. It was just like, I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah. Fine, good for everyone.
We were all happy that
I was happy that happened. I wasn't salty or anything.
But that's when the shackle got out of control.
Not yet.
Yeah. Aaron went upstairs.
Yeah, okay. So the thing is running for about a minute, 2 minutes, I'm not paying attention to the way it's supposed to be running, because truth be told, I don't fully understand what I just
Nobody
made.
knows. Well, no, we just like...
Because I'm not Tony Stark, dude. I'm not some sort of engineering whiz guy. Like,
also, no one took a shop class here, so no one knows how the fuck
well, I mean, it's
works.
pretty... Look, it's like square hole, square peg type of shit.
Yeah,
but like,
sort of, but understanding the basics of a motor...
I understand the basics of a motor. That's not the problem. Yes, I do.
Alright.
That's not the problem. The problem here was that this is like, it's not the motor I don't understand. It's basically the sort of like the subtlety behind this housing, this assembly. No, like the starter for the assembly.
But
the
that's
assembly
part
for
of the motor.
The assembly for the starter.
I consider that motor basic.
That's not motor basic.
Whatever, dude.
Look, the point of the matter is this. This shit's running, and somehow or another, the crankshaft that's supposed to be running sort of in a fashion that misses, it sort of glides over the ripcord, is now catching the ripcord, winding it backwards, rips the ripcord within 2 minutes. I'm not paying attention. There's a fucking stainless steel shackle that's meant to absorb. Dude, it's meant to absorb thousands of pounds of load, tension.
Yeah.
Now it shoots off
the fucking cord.
Right off
knee.
of a generator that's running at thousands of RPM, right into this dude's knee. Like a bullet. The guy fucking...
I thought he was...
I didn't know what happened. I just saw him...
I
heard something drop. I saw him jump and land back first onto the deck next to the cockpit. I'm just looking around like, what the fuck happened? He's grabbing his knee in pain. I'm like, oh, I've seen too many ACL tears before for this to happen.
It was just bad.
I thought this was like a really fucking serious
I thought it was really bad. I heard it from downstairs. Like, what the fuck?
The captain's downplaying this shit. He's like, dude, just get up, just walk downstairs. And I'm like, okay, let's just grab him and get him out of here. And so we got him downstairs and fixed him up and shit.
These look kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We need to get him to an emergency room, but we're in the middle of the fucking ocean. He doesn't have insurance, of course.
Yeah, it needs to get that shit x-rayed.
And so, the generator's still running. We're all fucking... Now it's a somber celebration. Like, okay, this came at a price.
Yeah, I remember that. But the best part is, so now that the generator is running...
Okay, now it's like no more than fucking 5 minutes of patching air up, and the captain's like, oh, carbon monoxide.
He's so excited that the generator is running.
No, but
the wind is blowing it.
But it's a quote-unquote potential risk
into the cabin. Yeah, the carbon monoxide down into the cabin from the cockpit.
Into the highly and well-ventilated cabin.
That we need to move the generator, but we can't risk it not starting it, so we need to move it while it's started. It's barely strapped to a fucking board, and everybody has to get Pedro, Stephen, and I have to hold on to this fucking live engine, okay, without housing, hold on to the live engine, a bunch of parts, vibrating on it, so pick up this live engine on this board and move it across
board
and move it across a boat that's rocking wildly.
To move it atop the cabin.
It's a terrible idea.
And just set it down there and pray it doesn't vibrate off.
We're super pissed. So here's a couple things happened simultaneously. We picked up the board and we moved it. And what happened when...
And the coach isn't fucking paying attention and lets the plastic gas tank touch the hot muffler.
Yeah, and the gas
tank melts the fucking gas tank. So it's spilling gas everywhere. He's holding up, screaming left and right. He's like, get a fucking siphon, like screaming at everyone.
Fucking emergency. Everybody's like freaking out. Gas is spilling all over the generator.
He like turns it upside down and shit, starts yelling. He starts yelling and shit about like, you know, okay, it's like yelling at me. He's like, okay, go make a fucking siphon, do this and that. And I look at him and I go, dude, with all due respect, I feel more comfortable if you did that. And he just goes off on me. He's like, fuck you, like, you know, your fucking problem is you're always about fucking you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, you fucking can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm like, dude, I don't need a motivational speech right now. We need to just fix this fucking
we need to do it in the generator.
And he's like, no, you listen to me, asshole. You fucking, we need to do this. He's like fucking cussing me out, and then at the same time trying to tell me I can do whatever I want. I have a mental block. And I'm like, I looked at him and I go, we'll talk about this later. Let's just fucking fix this gas tank.
I was so pissed at the risk of it. Like, it's a hot thing. It's like the equivalent of taking a fucking really, really, really hot pan full of boiling water without a lid on it and like asking people to like dance around with it for 2 minutes, you know, just cut. You could have easily turned the generator off.
Which is the analog to putting a lid on it.
Yeah. We could have just turned the generator off and then moved it.
And then waited 2 minutes or so for the muffler to cool down.
Nobody cared about it. Even if it didn't start, nobody gave a fuck about it. Steering the for extra 2 days. That would have been fine too. I would have steered this fucker the whole time. Like,
I would have minded, but I wouldn't have really...
It wouldn't have put anyone in danger is the point.
Yeah.
So I was super pissed.
It was the definition of an unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
And it was like,
and we got a new gas tank, and we like used
we had to
gas
fab up a new gas tank and
saw
shit,
the
and
fucker
like
running, like it's barely duct taped together. So goddamn dangerous.
It was the definition of New Year's Eve. Just amateur hour all the goddamn time. And I told him the time, I'm like, listen, dude, I got two fucking problems with you right now. One, like, oh yeah, and he called me lazy. That was the best part. He's like, dude, you're lazy and you keep saying you can't. And I looked at him and I'm like, okay, I got two problems with you. One, if you think what I'm doing here is lazy, that's the last word I'd use to describe it. I give you my 100%, man. And if, like, I don't know what your fucking deal is. There's nothing lazy about the way I've been running around with this business. Two, you just took totally unnecessary risks. There's no such thing as carbon monoxide poisoning in a highly ventilated area. He's like, dude, it settles. I'm like, no, CO is lighter than O2. It will rise, and we have vents at the top of the cabin. It will leave the cabin. He's like, dude, I can't take any risks. I'm like, okay, I guess that's kind of fair. But why did we have to move the thing when it was on? Yeah. Why couldn't we wait?
So stupid.
Eventually, he ends up admitting it was an amateur move. I'm just like, yeah. It doesn't, and it's actually fucking, it's sort of like, whatever, it's moved, no big deal now, life goes on. And Ben and I are now fueling the fuck out of this thing so it doesn't ever turn off. We're siphoning gas from the dinghy. The dinghy has no gas now. We've converted all gas from the dinghy to electrical power. Which
we didn't need to do.
Yes, the dinghy is it's basically the lifeboat.
I want to reiterate that if we had just opened the lid to the engine, we could have fixed this problem 12 days ago. 14 days
maybe. Even then, quote unquote, we're not even sure if the alternator works still.
We're sure it works.
He's a fucking idiot. Anyway, so,
yeah, like those goddamn solar panels are charging shit. They're not even facing the right way. Look at them. Charging shit. They're facing the deck. Yeah. So, okay, so that happened. Wow, those flying fish are really cool.
They can fly, man. Look at them.
Yeah, they really can. Look at that thing go.
It's just darting out of the water. Look at that. That's far.
Wow. He's
skipping.
gliding. Dude,
yeah,
he's making better
not
time
even in the water.
He's making better time.
Holy crap.
Alright.
Alright, back on. So, now it's like, that was, by this point, this is where, if we had the timestamp, but this is where Ben took that fucking video swooping in like Michael Bay shit
that was when
to show you the generator.
That was when I just wanted to show you guys the shitty fucking piece of work that we had cobbled together. So that was like keeping the boat running.
Well, we're trying to charge, now at this point, we're trying to charge the batteries to turn the engine on. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
I'm like, we're trying to get the engines full on, so the batteries full on so we can turn the engine on.
Then we decided, like, an hour later, we're like, you know, let's not use the engine.
Yeah, we don't need it. It's like, quote unquote, why do we need to take the risk? Say we turn the engine on and it turns off the battery, and then, you know, it doesn't charge anything. I'm like,
what?
Alright, whatever.
We didn't care.
I'm like,
we're just, like, out of it. We're just complete apathy.
So we go to sleep and shit, and, oh no, he turns the generator off at night because he wants some peace and quiet.
He did?
Yeah, that's why.
Turned it off?
Yeah, that's why.
He said he was gonna run it all night?
No. He turned it off.
Shit.
Yeah, and.
He said he was gonna run it all night. Wow.
He wants some rest.
We probably can't even start it again. That's the best part.
No, he started this morning.
Alright.
Because my Cracker Jack repair job, it actually can be started now whenever we want.
Oh, hey, good job.
Yeah, you just have to fucking don't use a ripcord or it'll blow off. Or don't use a handle, it'll fucking fly off like a bullet.
Yeah.
No, but this is where it all starts. It's like, we gotta go
let's talk about night. Let's talk about what happened last night.
Okay, what happened?
Okay, well, last night.
Oh, I made these nice chocolate brownies with peanut butter, peanut butter marbling, peanut butter striping.
Last night I slept in the berth and Steven slept on the floor. I slept in the berth for the second time maybe this entire trip. The berth is smelly, cramped, and makes me seasick.
Yeah, because you have this sloshing under. And I sleep on the floor because it's the only way I can get both shoulders level, which is the only way I can go to sleep because I have my shoulder injury right now.
So, the common area looks like a mess. Things have been moved around just as we were trying to get at the engine, and like all this shit was just all over the place. And last week, I had a very uneventful shift. Didn't do anything except that I noticed that the sails were... Oh, wait, let's go back to the autopilot incident, or the manual pilot incident real quick. I wanted to be noted briefly, two things. One, the hanks on the jib. Yeah,
they were all sorts of
hanks on the jib, when we oiled them with WD-40, we loosened them too much, and they were flying.
And so, like, every time we threw up a sail, at least 2 or 3 hanks would just not stay on the mainstay.
And I looked the captain in the eye, and I said, Captain, those hanks are not going to stay.
Yeah.
He said, let's pray they do. And I said, they won't.
Oh, and he's like, yeah, we'll just take them down later. We'll take down the sail later, put the hanks back on or something.
You weren't there, no. You weren't there.
Well, I heard when he put up, like, the last time we put up 4 fucking hanks or 5 hanks were off.
I said like 4 hanks were missing.
And he's just like, and we were just like, yo, Captain, should we take it down and do it over again? He's like, we'll do it later, or something like that.
And I looked him in the head and the eyes, and I said, Captain, the hanks are not going to stay on. He's like, let's pray they do. And I said, well, no, they're not going to stay on. I repeated myself. And that was the end of that conversation. So that happened. And then, when the autopilot failed and we were hand steering, being careful not to not to accidentally jive and everything, I came up during the captain's shift with Ari at 3 a.m. and he was jiving like fucking crazy. He was jiving like a madman, like non-stop, like literally 5 straight minutes of jiving.
What? Why?
And I came up and I looked at him and I was like, dude, the Statesville and the Boom are jiving. And he's like, the Statesville and the Jib are jiving, like a lot, man. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, it's not a lot of force. Ari was there watching us jive with it. And he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. It was like 4 a.m. I was concerned because I kept hearing this. And I was getting ready to get pissed, too. Because I thought that somebody was on watch, like Pedro or something. Like, I don't know. Just I thought that somebody was being really negligent. And I came up and I looked around. And it was the captain. And I couldn't say anything because it was the captain. But I was like, why is he jiving the shit out of fucking the Statesville and the Jib? We're both getting jived like crazy.
Wait, the Jib?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh my God.
They're getting worked. I was like, is this a rowboat or a sailboat?
Oh my God.
Yeah, they were getting fucking worked, both of them. Just back and forth.
It takes a lot of fucking shittiness to jibe the Jib. The Statesville itself is a self-tending boom, so it will jibe just at the fucking thought of it, but...
no, the Jib jives easier than the Statesville.
Not in that configuration.
Well, I mean, without the configuration, the
jibe is way harder.
This wasn't wing on wing, we were sailing upwind. We were supposed to be sailing starting at Broadbeach. So I looked at him and I was like, this is jiving pretty hard. And he's like, yeah, I know the preventer's not really doing something, blah, blah, blah. And I went, okay. And I just turned and went back to sleep. Like, I didn't want to say anything or do anything. So I went to bed. That was 2 nights ago. Then this morning was a shitstorm. Super shitstorm.
I woke up, looked around. I don't remember exactly what happened. He's like, yo, you gotta fix the generator.
You came upstairs.
Yeah, I went upstairs just to look out at the horizon, as I want to do on the occasion.
Yeah,
you know,
like
appreciate the majesty of...
You've just woken up.
Appreciate the majesty of the ocean we were in. And,
pretty majestic.
It's fucking so boring.
Yeah,
most boring shit ever. Fields of waves.
Yeah, I mean, if we were closer to land, I think we'd be seeing, like, dolphins and shit.
Yeah, and it'd be, like, cool and fun, but it's just blue.
I like it. You know what? I've seen 1,000 types of clouds and 1,000 types of sunset, and that was cool.
No. Anyway, so I'm going up there, and he's like, you gotta fix the generator.
And the slip that like literally broke the camel's back.
And I was just like, don't you think now would be a good time to test the alternator? And he's like, what is it with you and your fucking brother about this alternator, man? I'm like, I don't know, we just really like induction. It's really cool. Because I was just trying to be playful, because I'm basically trying to be like, dude, I get it. We'll leave you alone about it. And he's like, you guys gotta knock it off. I'm like, okay, I get it. He's like, but he keeps writing me. He's like, you know, really, no, seriously, what is up with these two? I'm like, we really think induction's cool.
Why did you say we?
Because he kept saying you two.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have answered to me, but that's the way.
I don't know, dude, because...
We got lumped together on this boat.
Yeah, we got lumped because both Ben and I are pestering him about the fucking alternator, because we're both fairly intrigued at why we are not using this panacea, this electrical panacea.
I mean, the boat can charge the battery in like 10 minutes instead of using. Also, diesel gas is cheaper than dinghy gas. Pretty sure. It
doesn't matter. The amount of diesel gas we'd be using is like a fraction of the
That's what I'm saying. Is like I was thinking about it. Like diesel's cheaper, so
it doesn't matter. So,
any way you spin it, basically, it makes sense to use the boat.
So anyway, even if not the motor all the way there, but just to charge the battery so we can keep
what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. So I like say some shit, and then I go back and I basically.
Oh my god! And I had just gotten up. I just like I hadn't even seen the captain. I hadn't talked to him the day before. I did some dishes yesterday and a bunch of shit. And I don't remember. The captain was pissed because I didn't volunteer to do it. No one's volunteering to do it.
No one ever volunteers to do dishes. Yeah. Period.
And the captain was like, "Bang, go help Ari." So I did. And I didn't complain about it or anything, but I missed some stuff and I did a half-ass job. I did a real half-ass job. I'll admit. I'll be the first to admit.
Whatever. This is getting besides the point, or maybe ahead of the point.